Good morning. So it is 5:30 a.m. on Friday. I am already in my office, as you can see, because I have a few different projects that I'm working on that I'm super, super excited to get completed because of the way that they're going to impact my business and my client experience. Today, I wanted to talk about getting a pre-approval, why it's important, when you should do it, how to pick a lender, those types of things. And so we've showed this before, the Path to Home Ownership sheet. If you do not already have one, just shoot me an email. It's in the description box below. I will get this right over to you. As I've said before, this is basically a map, right? Here's where you start the home ownership process. Here's where you finish. You are not a homeowner until those keys are in your hand. So important. The closer you get to here on this map, the less chance there is of anything happening that could prevent that from happening. A lender plays a really, really important role, and so does a strong pre-approval in getting you to the, not just to the closing table, but to the closing table on time with no issues, right? Or minimal issues. And so picking a lender is one of the most important things you can do. Some people have one picked before they pick an agent. Some people pick their agent first. There's multiple places you can find one. You can look up mortgage lending online. Probably not what I would recommend, right? Reviews are only as honest as the people, and is everybody leaving a review? I just had a crappy experience with a different vendor for something else entirely last week, and I didn't want to leave reviews because I'm like, what if I'm the only experience? Like, their reviews did not match my experience at all. And I was talking to my sales manager, Scott, and he's like, you owe it to the community to leave a review that's honest, because maybe everyone else is thinking like you, and maybe you can prevent somebody else from having that experience. And this just happens to be on a huge project that I'm doing. And so the point is that picking a lender, I don't know that I would do it based on reviews. I think I would do it more so on if you know someone who had a really, really great experience with them. And so the internet tends to lead us toward reviews. Not that reviews are bad, just again, they're only as accurate as the number of honest reviews that they have. And there are a lot of people who like to complain. There's also a lot of people who really don't. And so sometimes just getting to the finish line, especially with the home buying process, is more important than taking the time to leave an honest review if things didn't go well. What I would say is, if you know somebody who you have a relationship with that you would like to try, I would recommend going with them, of course. However, your agent probably has some people that they've worked with, that they know the work of, and remember that those people are all in it together to get you to the closing table. And picking a team of people that works for you and gets the job done smoothly is really, really important. That's something my own mom actually said throughout the whole transaction. I picked people that I knew from my office that had experience working together, and it just went really, really well for her. We had literally no bumps in the road. And so I would say that would be a good way to choose as well. But you are welcome to shop around always. You can check rates. You can check service. You also want to look for people who have experience. So I'm in Illinois. There's a down payment assistance program called IDA. IDA is a great program. Sometimes it prevents people from getting to the closing table on time. I had, in my transactions, for example, the agents on the other side, when they found out they were using IDA, they were really, really upset with us because there's nowhere on the contract to put it early on. So they found out later, and when they found out, they weren't happy, especially since it was a multiple offer. The reason they weren't happy is because they were concerned. Everybody's job is to get to the closing table. You found a house you want. The seller has a house they want to sell. We've matched you guys up. Now we just got to do the job, right? And so anything that can get in the way of that, of course, is going to be upsetting to anybody. I have a lender who has incredible experience with the IDA program, and I've had zero issues. I've even had agents on the other side of the transaction tell me they wanted to use my lender because they've never seen IDA go without a problem. And it has for me. In fact, a lot of my transactions have used IDA, and I've had zero issues. And so that would be something that would be really, really important to consider. Somebody who has experience using with using the programs that you are using for your transaction. And so all of those things to consider in picking a lender. And then again, the most important thing is to get you to the closing table on time. And ideally without any issues, right? You're going to have paperwork that comes up that you're going to need in the process. There's always going to be things that are going to come up, but ideally they would be small things like I need paperwork and I have enough time to get it. Not the day of closing or 2 days before closing and we don't have clear to close and we need something that takes longer to get and now we have to postpone it. And now everybody's more stressed out and everybody's upset. Movers have been scheduled, contractors have been scheduled. all of these things have already been taken care of and now have to all be changed because we didn't get to the closing table on time. So that would be a really, really important thing to consider. Another reason a pre-approval is important, and I don't think people always think about this part of it, is a lot of these homes are already occupied. Still occupied. So if the seller's still living in the home and they have small children and it's dinner time and that's the only time that you can go see the home, no problem at all. We all know that's a part of selling a home, and that's something that their agent prepares them for. But the thing that they ask us for a lot of times in return is just to know that the people that we're interrupting their lives with are pre-qualified. And so if I'm taking you in and we don't know that you're pre-qualified, we're kicking them and their kids out. We're shaking up their whole schedule. You know, as a seller, we ask them to keep their home looking as much like a model home as they can, as much like the pictures as they can. And so to ask them to do all of that and not even know if I'm bringing a qualified buyer into their home really isn't fair. And so it's just another ancillary reason why it's important to have a pre-approval up front. Some of the homes actually require it before you can go in. So I hope this information was valuable. This is video number 3 of the home buyer series. I have a whole list of other topics I'm going to cover, but if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comment box below or shoot me an email, and I will make sure to cover those too. Bye.